What's going on, everybody? Gary from K.O.R.H Hobbies, your host for the full review and my thoughts video on the Arrma Kraton V3. Now, just to go over a few things, if you're not familiar with this truck, this is a 1/8 scale four-wheel drive, and it's classified as a monster truck. You could call it a monster trucky, but it is technically classified as a monster truck. So it's 1/8 scale four-wheel drive monster truck that is 4 and 6S capable, and judging by the size and everything, it is a pretty decent size RC. Now, this does come ready to run for about $500 anywhere that sells Arrma, and yeah, so let's get into the full review and my thoughts. So, out of the box, you get this, and we'll go over the boring thing real quick. The Tactic 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. I absolutely love these transmitters. Simple but very effective little transmitters here. I've never had range problems. I've never had a problem, not one, with these transmitters. You get your normal steering trim, throttle trim, steering dual rate. You have a couple reverse switches on the back side here, and your on-off switch, and it does run on 4 AA's. I like it because it's open, it's light, the pistol grip is perfect for the feel in my hand at least, and it does have this nice little foam on the wheel for finger comfort. Yay! So I do like the Tactic transmitters these Arrma Ready to Runs come with. Now, coming to the truck, for those of you that don't know or haven't been on my channel much or are not that familiar with my channel, basically my first good RC I ever had that I learned to drive with and everything was the Kraton V1. I got it right when it first came out, and I absolutely loved it. I had that truck for about 2 years, had a lot of breakages, but as I said, I did learn how to RC with that truck, and mostly on 6S power. So, but it held up and held up and held up. I put a 5th scale motor in it, held up, held up, held up. So I was forever sold on the Kraton. I got the Kraton V2, had that for a while, had better luck with that than I had with the first version. And now that I've ran this V3, this is a very, very solid RC. Now, the body has the typical things. It did start to waller out the holes in the back here a little bit, so I did go ahead and reinforce it with shoe glue and drywall tape. I did around the holes in the front as well, but the rest of the body holds up very nicely, and a lot of that is due to this cage they put in the middle. It helps from smashing down the body and everything, but I think they look pretty cool. I mean, there are much cooler looking RCs out there. The Talion looks amazing, but this is the classic body. They've stuck with it, and that is not bad at all in my opinion, but I'm glad they dropped that weird looking green they had on the V1. Now, coming to this, it did come with a couple upgrades over the V2, being they put the Outcast battery tray in here. They did put these plastic flaps in here. They went with a new shock design. They're basically the same shocks, they just kind of mounted them differently and did different oil. Now, one of the things I will say for the V2 and V3 over the V1 was that in the V1 I had to tune all the diffs. I tuned the front and rear with 100,000 weight, and I put 500,000 weight in the center. Now, I haven't experienced that need, I guess you could say, on the V2 or V3. I like the way these trucks run out of the box. Very happy with them. The newer brushless system you can get in here, the 185 BLX system you can get in here, is absolutely amazing for a ready to run. Probably the best system I would say that comes in the ready to run. It's got a rebranded, basically, Hobbywing Quick Run 150 amp ESC that is 2 through 6S capable, but you're going to want to run probably 4 and 6S. Now this motor, I think the can size is 4076 if I'm not mistaken. It is a 2050 kV motor, and this thing has tons and tons of power. Now it comes with your classic 20 kg or 15 kg, sorry about that, metal geared steering servo, and all the electronics are waterproof. It does come stock with these XT90 connectors. Awesome, way to go. Now, a few different things that you will notice on this is it does have this little bit bigger bumper. I have heard that the chassis mounts are upgraded, though they look exactly the same as the V2. Other than that, it's basically just your average Kraton stuff. Now, on this version, I did break one of the front A-arms, so I went ahead and put the RPM A-arms on both sides in the front. You do run a pillow ball suspension in the front with adjustable turnbuckles, so camber and toe is adjustable, and you do have adjustable camber links on the rear to make your camber adjustable, but toe will not be adjustable. It does run track bars front and rear. Now, with this setup out of the box, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is the best, the absolute best ready to run you can buy. Now, that is my opinion. That is not a fact. Some people will like the Outcast more. Some people will like the Talion more. Some people will like something other than Arrma altogether. In my opinion, the Arrma Kraton V3 is the best ready to run I have ever had the pleasure of driving. Now, I do think this version is better than the V2 and the V1 for sure. The reasons for me liking this version of the Kraton more than the two previous generations is, one, I think the suspension setup is much better. It sits up higher, giving you more ground clearance, making it more kind of a monster truck style. But the suspension is by far the best that has come on a Kraton to date. And everything else is basically carryover from the V2, save for a couple small things like the battery tray and these little flaps right here. But this thing having the better suspension, I think they just nailed it with this truck. Absolutely awesome driving experience. Now, the tires, if you've seen the running videos of the V2 or this version, the V3, I am not a huge fan of these tires. They are not throwaways, but I would definitely think about switching these out for something different almost immediately. I'm not a huge fan of these tires. They will work, they will get you running, and hey, if you bash on a different surface than I do and these tires actually work, awesome. These tires just don't tend to get enough traction for me, but they do okay, I will say. Other than that, I mean, everything is held up. It's got huge, thick aluminum shock towers. You can get upgrades from Voltage Hobbies if you end up bending anything. You can get upgraded chassis braces. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there for these nowadays. Like the RPM A-arms, you can get a set for the rear. If for some reason this system doesn't have enough power, there is plenty of room in here to run a bigger motor if you'd like. The 150 amp ESC is stellar. Like I said, I think, in my opinion, I think the Arrma Kraton is the best ready to run you can buy, period, hands down, end of story. Now, like I said, some people will disagree with me on that, but that's my opinion. So coming to my thoughts, I think this truck is absolutely awesome. I know this is kind of a short and straight to the point review, but hey, if you've watched my channel, if you've followed Killer Off-Road Hobbies at all, you will know that I absolutely love the Kraton. And that is not a biased opinion or view just because I learned with a Kraton. The Kraton continues to be an RC that surprises me. Its capabilities, its power, its speed, its stability, all of those make for an absolutely awesome RC experience. And I think the Arrma Kraton will stay on top for the king of the ready to runs in my book, unless somebody can produce something for the price point that can perform as well or slightly better than this. And I think that is going to be a very, very, very tall order for any company to do. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to be my full review and thoughts on the Arrma Kraton V3. I think this is the best version of Kraton yet. I hope Arrma keeps rolling with this. I hope they tweak little things here and there. I would love to see the D-Boost tires on here that come on the Outcast. I think that would have been an awesome, awesome, awesome deal if they would have thrown those tires on this V3. I think they would have nailed it 100%, because the only thing I have negative to say about this truck at all is the tires. All right, everybody. So hopefully that was informative and or entertaining for you. If it was, please hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like this video and it wasn't what you were hoping to hear or see, go ahead and smash that thumbs down. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And hey, check out that description. There's a bunch of cool stuff you can get in on raffles and everything. And we're going to keep this ball rolling. All right, everybody. Get out there, get an RC, go have some fun, and we'll see you right back here on Killer Off-Road Hobbies on our next video. Until then, you guys have fun. Peace!